The old Victorian house loomed over me, silhouetted against the bruised purple sky. Rain lashed down, wind keening like a lost soul. It was the sort of night that made me want to curl up by a fire with a nice horror movie, not stand outside an abandoned house in the middle of nowhere. But my friends had dared me, and backing out now would make me a wimp. Plus, whatever ghost was said to haunt this place only came out at night. And it was almost midnight. The story of this house and its ghost were well known in our small town. Almost every kid had heard about the Veiled Bride. I'd heard it several times, but I never believed it until recently when I'd found the diary. That's what got my friends and me interested in the first place. We searched for the diary in the attic of my friend's grandmother's house. She'd given us permission to rummage around, saying there was nothing up there worth taking anymore. We found the diary tucked away in a cobweb-filled trunk, bound in leather and smelling faintly of lavender. Its yellowed pages told the story of a young woman named Amelia who lived in the house over 100 years ago. The year was 1896. The house was new, having been built just a few years before by Elias Thorne, a wealthy bachelor who lived in the city. He built the house for his bride-to-be, Amelia. But one night while attending a party in the city, Elias met a mysterious woman. They say he fell madly in love with her, so much so that he broke off his engagement with Amelia and left her stranded in their country home, heartbroken. Soon after, Elias married the mysterious woman, but she died shortly in childbirth, leaving him devastated. Years passed and Elias became a recluse, rarely leaving the house. Then one day he was found dead in his study, apparently of a broken heart. The house was then occupied by his sister until she, too, died. For years, the house sat empty, the reason for that remaining a mystery. As I read the diary, I felt as though I were living the story. It was almost as if Amelia were sitting right across from me, whispering her tale into my ear. Just as suddenly as it began, the diary ended. I wanted to know more. So I researched the house and its former owners, finding newspaper clippings about their deaths and obituaries. And that's when I learned something shocking. After Elias died, the house went to his sister, Helen, but when she died, the house didn't go to anyone else. It went to the town. As far as I knew, the house was still owned by the town. But when my friend asked around, no one knew anything about it. The house had simply appeared, abandoned and neglected. My friends and I decided to visit it, but we kept it a secret from our parents and we never told them about the diary. We snuck out that night, cloaked in darkness and driven by morbid curiosity. Now I stood before it, my heart pounding in my chest. The house looked sinister in the rain, like a rotting corpse exhumed from the earth. My breath caught in my throat as I walked up the path toward the house. Ivy clung to the walls like skeletal fingers. The front door hung precariously from one hinge, swaying gently in the wind. I reached out and pushed it open. The hinges screamed in protest, as though the ghost of the house itself were rising from its grave. Inside, all was dark and silent. Dust motes danced in the pale moonlight that streamed through grimy windows, illuminating furniture covered in white sheets. "Hello," I whispered, my voice unnaturally loud in the cavernous space. "Is anyone here?" Only silence answered me. I took a hesitant step forward, then another. My eyes began to adjust to the gloom, and I could make out shapes in the shadows. One in particular caught my attention. At the end of the hallway stood a rocking chair. It swayed gently back and forth, as though someone had just gotten up from it. I froze, my blood turning to ice water. No one had been sitting in it, yet it was moving. Slowly, inexorably. My friends edged closer, their faces pale in the moonlight. None of us spoke, not daring to break the spell. The rocking grew faster, the chair scraping against the floorboards. Then a low, mournful sound filled the room, a sound like nothing I'd ever heard before. It was a sound of pure despair, of utter hopelessness, of complete and utter misery. It seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. Goosebumps erupted on my skin and I could feel my breath quickening in my chest. Terror rooted me to the spot, paralyzing me with fear. Then, as quickly as it started, it stopped. The rocking ceased and the mournful wail faded into silence. The air grew still, heavy with anticipation. My friends and I stared at the rocking chair, waiting, hoping that whatever had made that noise would reveal itself. But it didn't. The silence stretched on, broken only by the drip of water from a leaky pipe somewhere in the house. My friends and I exchanged uneasy glances. Should we run? Would whatever haunted this place come after us? Or was it done? We were about to leave when my friend Sarah let out a scream. She pointed to the corner of the room where the wallpaper was peeling away from the wall. And scrunched in the corner was a woman's shawl. A chill ran down my spine. What if the ghost wasn't done with us? What if it wanted us to stay? With trembling hands, I pulled the shawl from the corner. It was old and smelled musty, like old books and forgotten things. The moment my fingers brushed against it, I felt a jolt of icy cold, like a graveyard in the dead of winter. As I pulled it from the wall, more came loose, revealing a hiding place behind it. Inside was a small wooden box. My heart pounded as I lifted the box, its weight surprising me. What secrets did it hold? What horrors lay within? Sarah helped me carry it into the main room where the rocking chair sat ominously in the corner. The box was locked, but I couldn't wait to see what was inside. Using my shoulder, I rammed it against the floor until it burst open. Inside, nestled on velvet, was a beautiful white wedding gown. It shimmered in the dim moonlight, its lace trim delicate and intricate. I carefully lifted the gown from the box, my fingers tracing the faded fabric. It was soft and cool to the touch, like the skin of a corpse. As I held the gown, I felt a sudden chill. The temperature in the room plummeted and I gasped as a cold hand clasped my shoulder. Turning, I saw the specter of a woman in a Victorian nightgown. Her face was hidden behind a white veil, which only added to her ghostly appearance. With a scream, I flung the veil aside, but it was too late. I could see her face now, or what was left of it. Her eyes were wide and vacant, her mouth a horrifying grin. Then she vanished. I stumbled back, dropping the gown. My friends and I fled the house, running blindly through the darkness, the sound of our own screams echoing behind us. When we finally stopped, breathless and shaking, we never looked back. But sometimes when I think of that night, I can still feel the icy touch of the ghost and hear her mournful cry. And I wonder if she'll ever let me go. Hey, guys! Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button below and subscribe to my channel. Also, be sure to check out my other videos, which are all about scary stories. I'm planning on uploading a lot more soon. So stay tuned for those. And again, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.